Hey guys, Dan the Man with Ralston Acres here. Haven't done a video in a while, so let's get right on into it. Guys, I'm having to be inside the barn next to a heater because it is so cold here in Northwest Georgia. Today's about the end of last week of January, and I see some guys going up and down the road blasting his car. But anyway, it's really cold here in Northwest Georgia. And, I have people ask me from time to time, what do you do when it's too cold to work outside? So we're going to talk about that just a little bit. I have them written down here. It's so cold, my memory's froze. But, what do you do? Well, I think the first thing that you need to do when it's too cold to work outside, especially if you go to and you're looking at the end of the season from last year. This is January, so our Christmas season is over. Is take some time for planning. It's planning, not planting, but planning. That is ultra important. When you're looking at continuing on your Christmas tree farm for the next year. One of the things that I think that you should do when you're planning is to sort of do a recap. Well, what about last year? What worked really well during your last season? If you had a season, if you're brand new and you didn't have a season, maybe you visited a Christmas tree farm and you saw some things that you liked and you wrote down or committed to memory, and you thought, hey, that's just the thing that we want to do on our farm when we open. But what worked well? Well, here at Ralston Acres, I think you're looking at some things that worked very well. Our wreath shop, we sold completely out of wreaths. We had a lot of pre-made wreaths before the season started, and those seemed to go real well, and it helped us as we went through the season because we have two wreath makers, and it's hard to keep up sometimes when people are coming through and they're wanting this wreath or this bow or that bow, and sometimes it's hard to keep up. So we had some pre-made bows that we had, and I think that worked really well for our farm this year. In the concessions, we nailed that too. We just toward the end of the season, we sold out of everything except soft drinks. Now, you're thinking, well, did you reorder? Order too many soft drinks, or what did you do? Well, to be honest with you, the weather changed. And that happens here just about every year. Now, we're sort of in the northwest corner of Georgia. We're just about 20 miles south of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So, you don't know what kind of weather you're going to get in November and December. So what happened when we opened, it was rather warm. It was 65, 68 degrees during our day, close to opening. And the soft drinks went real well in our concessions then. But then toward the end of the season, we sold more hot chocolate and more hot drinks because the weather turned cold. It was down in the 40s sometimes when we were selling during the latter part of our season. So I think all in all, I think we nailed it pretty well. Kettle corn went well, popcorn. Again, these are just things that you might or might not want to sell in your concession stand. Apple cider did real well. Hot chocolate. So, but I think we did pretty well in that, just recapping that. As far as the trees, we had some pre-cut trees brought in, Fraser firs and some others that we brought in, just simply because we can't grow those here, and that's what some people wanted. And we had some Douglas fir as well, and we sold completely out. And so I think that was a good thing because, if you buy pre-cuts and you have them left over at the end of the season, they don't make good salad. You're just going to have to eat them. I don't mean that literally, but you're stuck with them. There's nothing you can do with them other than maybe make some fish cover in a pond or make some put them on the edge of the woods for birds or whatever. Maybe feed them to goats if you got goats. But we did really well. So I think we sort of nailed that. So really, all in all, the operation went fairly smooth. There are some areas that I want to change next year and redo. We even had for the first time in our farm history, we had a vendor market. Basically, we had Christmas craft vendors in here, and they sold everything from jellies to jams to ornaments and all kind of different things. And we had that prior to our opening, and it went pretty well for the first time, I thought. So those are just some things that I was looking back on from last year that I think that we did pretty well. Had good traffic. We managed to park all of our cars without a lot of trouble. Everything went good there as far as traffic, as far as people coming through. We had a lot of people come through our doors this year. So that's just one of the things that I thought about in foot traffic and things like that. Most everybody was in a pretty good humor. Everybody was in a Christmas mode. The barn decorations looked good. Our office staff worked well, and our computers and everything that we used to keep up with our sales seemed to go pretty much without a hitch. So all in all, looking back on 2025, there were some things that I would change, some things that I won't go into them right now, but that I'm looking at for next year. But this is the best time because you don't have a lot going on. Maybe it's too cold to work outside. Maybe some of you got lucky enough to have some snow on the ground. Maybe some of you are unlucky enough to have ice. We dodged a bullet here with the ice this time, so far. Winter's not over. But that's just one of the things in planning that I think that you really need to do, is to do a recap of what you did last year. The other thing that you'll need to do is plan for next year. People don't think about it, but the things in the gift shop, the pre-cut trees, things that I'm going to have to order for next season, they will pretty much need to be decided in the first quarter of this year. So, matter of fact, I've already put together, I say 90% of the things I need to put together for the gift shop as far as an order. I've got them ready to go. The trees, we've looked at what we sold last year. We're going to pretty much do the same thing this next year. I've got that order pretty much ready to go. The wreaths, same thing. So you think, well, this is just January. Well, you won't sell those until November. You've got to get your numbers in, and you've got to get your order in so that the other side of this equation, your tree farmers that are in North Carolina, Oregon, wherever you're getting your trees, or the warehouses that house some of your stuff for your gift shop, will have time to process your order and bill you in plenty of time for you to have them here to get set up long about the middle of the fall. So that's just something else to keep in mind. What are we going to be doing next besides the planning? As soon as it warms up a little bit, I'm getting into the field, and we've already prepared the ground. Thankfully, we had a little bit of warm weather right after Christmas, prepared the ground for new planting this time, planting. My mouth gets a little bit hard to work when it gets cold, but the planting part is coming up next. We've got to decide about, look at our soil samples, decide about the fertilizer and what we're going to do and where we're going to plant, how we're going to plant. The trees, we've got them ready to plant. That's the next thing on the list. But, if you're just looking at maybe down the road starting a Christmas tree farm, which we have some viewers that are doing that, don't buy into the misconception that Christmas tree farming is only about a 6-week out of the year job. It's not. It's 12 months. You're doing something every month. Every month is dedicated to some chore or to some planting or to some ordering, or something is going to go on that month that you're going to be having to accomplish so that you go to the next step. Hear about April, it's going to be mowing, keeping the grass down. It might be trimming. Oh my goodness, I dread that already, but trimming the trees so that they'll have that Christmas tree shape. That comes in the late spring. And then again, if you're going to do it twice a year, which sometimes we have to, that'll be also in the early fall. So, if you're thinking about being a Christmas tree farmer, don't buy into that misconception that, oh, it's just about 6 weeks. No, it's 12 months. But if you're already an established Christmas tree farmer, most of this that I've gone over with you today, that's old hat. If you're brand new to Christmas tree farming and you just started maybe planting, or maybe you just had a few plants in the ground and maybe you're getting started to sell next year or even the next, maybe this video will help you just a little bit and what to do when you do have some downtime. And one other thing too that you might want to consider, rest a little bit. We go at it pretty hard during Christmas tree season, and you want to have some time to cool your jets just a little bit. Sit back, evaluate, do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. Flu season is rampant around here right now, and that's one of the things you got to rest a little bit so that your immune system can tolerate whatever might come your way. But anyway, that's all I've got today. It's a really short video, but I hadn't put one on in a while, and I wanted to make sure that we got one out there. There'll be one coming up very soon. As soon as the weather breaks, we'll be talking about planting, and we'll give you some videos on that. So I'm going to warm my hands here, and we'll talk to you next time on Farming Around the Christmas Tree.